Yes, guys, welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. We are live and we are almost seven. I don't know how many hours are in a week. We're almost that many hours to the FPL deadline, which I think will be in 30 minutes time in 7 days. Dean, how are you?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, good. I mean, we've got the Community Shield this weekend, so that's our first one of any significance, really, isn't it? We can watch Palace and Liverpool and see what we read into that. And it is actually worth watching. You know, that Liverpool team, particularly, we really are intrigued by it. I messaged you this morning. I said, "Why is Rio and Gamoa not in FPL?"
Yeah,
and you said, "Well, they haven't put him in yet, but he's not going to play anyway, is he?"
not a
Yes, he
start, is
is.
he?
Not going to start, but he's going to be getting, mate, decent time off the bench, especially in those first week. I reckon he'll score in the first game.
Oh, mate, wow. Because I like he has to be in the game, surely. But a few in my WhatsApp group were like, oh, 4 point, like if he's 4.5 and blah, blah. And I was like, dude, he's going to get 200 Premier League minutes this season.
No, mate. Have you been watching him?
I've seen the clips. I've seen a few clips. Nothing massive.
This is a serious breakout moment, like for Ngamoa, and they cannot ignore it. They can't ignore it. I spoke to a Liverpool reporter, and he said, obviously, like Premier League is not going to be like the main part of this season as the plan, but it's absolutely impossible to ignore him at the moment, and he will be on the bench, and they will give him go because he's completely fearless. He's just unbelievable. So
where does he come on then? Like, is he going to come on for like a Gakpo, do you think?
Yeah, probably, or a Wirtz.
Yeah.
Like if it's like 20 minutes left. And I think like games that they're winning, suddenly you throw him in and he's just like, he's going to tear people apart, mate. So as a 4.5 million option at the start of the season, I think I'll throw him in. I think I will actually throw Rio into the mix.
And he should be 4.5 million because for a kid with his minutes, like you would expect that sort of price point.
Yeah.
So
it's I don't think his value will drop. And that's obviously what, like a 4.5. You don't want to pick a 4.5 that just rots completely. And I think in the opening weeks, I think he will get enough game time that it'll be okay. I'm not saying he's going to be in my team all season or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, you look at Lewis Skelly from recent times, Palmer from recent times. You go back to Theo Walcott, Wayne Rooney, like these players that have made significant teenage breakout moments. I can't believe that this kid's not on the verge of it. Like, he's just sensational.
Interesting. Watch this space, guys. And we do, obviously, Dean's right. Community Shield's massive this weekend. But actually, all 20 Premier League teams are pretty much in action this weekend. Spurs played last night. They'll play on Wednesday night. But the vast majority are playing this weekend. And guys, minutes are key. Like, we've got to look at starting. Most managers, I think, will go fairly full strength. And they'll give a lot of players 60. They need to build chemistry, especially if you're, say, a Man City or a Chelsea. You've not had much of a pre-season. This is their first and only game. So, yeah, we'll do a full pre-season roundup on Monday night show. And Monday night, do not miss that one, guys, on Chasing Green Arrows, because Dean and I will I think we'll probably need a full hour for that one, because we will be rounding up all the weekend action, and there's going to be a lot of it. And we can start to talk about Man City 11s. We can start to talk about Gyokeres, players like that. I'm really interested in Man City, because we haven't seen Man City in action this pre-season, other than Haaland, and we know Rodri's injured, by the way. He's not travelled to Palermo. I think him and a couple of others, Foden also. No one's picking the players like really good picks, like Marmoush, like Aït-Nouri, because we're not.
Marmoush is a weird price point, isn't he? Marmoush is just.
I think he's good value at 8.5 though, because he's been moved to a midfielder.
But how many 8.5 midfielders have you got in your team?
Yeah, it's a really awkward price point. And if you've got 8.5, do you just go Florian Wirtz? Like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I've tried to get him in the other day because I was like, why am I overlooking Marmoush so badly? And I was like, oh, it's because I can't get him in. Obviously, I'm doing a Salah and Haaland, so I can't squeeze him in. But I think it's just that price point is tricky for most people.
I think a lot are liking Bruno now as well. And if you've got that money to spend, you find. What's Bruno? I think he's 9, but Bruno's going to be really good for DEFCON. United have looked all right. The signing of Sesko helps him. I just don't like those United fixtures. They're a wait and see for me. But yeah, I mean, having that extra premium midfielder in your team is now possible because Mark Guiu's in the game and he's 4.5 million at Sunderland, and Dubravka's in the game, 4 million at Burnley. Straight away, we've got these two amazing enablers. Now, sure, Guiu ain't going to be starting for Sunderland game week 1. Unlikely, although let's see how he does this weekend as well. But just for squad rotation, like they are gifts. Anyway, Dean, today is about, and guys, do be sure to hit the buttons. We would love you to subscribe to Chasing Green Arrows. Dean, I did a video yesterday.
Yes.
A really good video on my channel. It was one of the best videos I've done on pre-season. I didn't say like and subscribe in the entire video. Honestly, my views are all normal, normal views, but my subs, I got like 10% of what I usually would. Because
really?
I came off the video and because I record as live, I went, oh, bloody, I didn't say it.
That's annoying.
And I was like, that's a really good social experiment for us to know that unless you say subscribe, people just don't go and do it.
Well, no one wants to hear it though, do they? That's the problem. Any YouTube video, people don't want to hear it. I mean, kids ones is right. Like my kids watch YouTube videos, and it's all part of the production. Is like the way that you announce you like and subscribe.
Right.
But in adult FPL world, people don't seem to like it. But you could like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.
I also feel for all of our chasers because I know everyone in the chat right now, Cam,
3 years ago.
They have to hear me say it 1,000 times. They're like, shut up. But, you know, there is new people joining too. So, hey, guys. But look, today is about must-haves. Dean has given us 5 players. I've given us 5 players. Dean, our lists are different, but we both started with one guy. I don't think we actually need to talk about Mo Salah. I mean, should we just we'll show him? But
I mean, show him on the screen for sure. Obviously going to be one of, if not the highest owned player in the game. 57% at the moment. Probably going to go higher, isn't it? Like, what does that end up? What does he normally end up as? You probably know off the top of your head what Salah would normally end up as an owned player. I
think last season he was between 50 and 60, but we have seen that was because Haaland had such a good year the year before. Haaland was like 70% owned going into game week 1 last year, or 65, 70. I think Salah will be on the cusp of 60.
Yeah,
but Haaland's going to be way lower, 25.
I'm not put off at all by the fact that Liverpool are juggling around with new systems and new players up front. Like Salah's going to be, cemented into that team, and I think they'll still look to make chances for him. Specifically, even with the likes of Ekitike, Wirtz. Like Salah's going to come more central. He's going to get his chances. He's going to take the penalties, and as such, until we literally see the drop off, we just got to believe that there isn't one.
Yeah. The share of points and goals and assists could drop a little bit because of the extra firepower, but the amount of goals and assists for the team goes up. So I think that balances it out for Salah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a no-brainer. Like I haven't even considered not picking him, which is a bit.
Keshav says, do we remove Salah during AFCON? No, yeah, we do. Like, by the way, guys, there was a new rule in FPL this year. You now get 5 free transfers for AFCON. If you don't use them, then, well, if you don't go into it with needing 5, then you don't get a full 5. But yeah, absolutely, you'll be selling him because he's going to miss a considerable amount of time. Let's move on from Salah, shall we? Yeah. Dean, we're going to have to say who's picked this player.
Okay.
I think Watkins was one of mine, wasn't he?
Watkins was definitely one of yours because I've had no interest in him.
Oh, I'm shocked by that. I love this pick. Like, let's talk a little bit about the new Aston Villa signing as well, because you'll know more about him than me, but he has played. In fact, let's talk Ollie Watkins first. But 4 goals, I think, pre-season. 9 million is a good price point. He could have penalties this year because there's no Rashford, there's no Asensio. It's between Watkins and Tielemans. Tielemans missed one last year. The fixtures are brilliant for Villa. They're at the top of the ticker. These 3 are fine, but they get better. Like, they have a great run. He's everything I want. He's going to be a 90-minute man. As long as I was worried. I took him out my draft a couple of weeks ago with the links with United. I can't see him moving.
Probably not now, no.
Ticking all the boxes. Many are looking at it and going, oh, the new guy they've signed, does that give threat to Watkins? Well, he can play number 9, and he's played like 25% of his minutes there. But he's also played like 15% of his minutes on the right, 15% of his minutes as the 10, some minutes on the left. Like, I think this guy's been signed to probably be a wide forward and complement Ollie Watkins because they're short in the wide forward spot. So they don't want to start a season with Leon Bailey or Daniel Marlon starting. I don't think Emery wants that. Marlon might start the first few, but I don't think he's the long-term plan for Emery. So yeah, Watkins is great. And he links so well with Rodgers. And I don't have Rodgers. Yeah, I think you need one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Rodgers and also we're watching his injury status at the moment. But
yeah.
Okay, so the reason I haven't got him is because I think Gyokeres is better. They're the same value, and Gyokeres is going to play for Arsenal, who are potentially going to win the league or come second.
And you can get Gyokeres in game week 6-7 when the Villa fixtures go down and the Arsenal fixtures go up, and by then we know he's getting 90 minutes. That's a transfer to me.
Mate, Gyokeres has Leeds at home second. Gyokeres has got Leeds at home second week of the season.
He does, but he's also got terrible fixtures around it. Watkins has got like 7 good fixtures.
I'm not really fussed, mate. Like he's gonna be on pens. I watched the Villarreal game, and Gyokeres changes everything. Like this guy is an absolute pest, right? Yeah. Arsenal haven't had this. Like he does not stop moving. He does not stop trying to get the ball in areas where he's going to get it into the goal. He's so annoying. He's so annoying. He's so strong. Yeah. And Arsenal just haven't had an option like Gyokeres. And Arsenal are obviously better than Aston Villa. So obviously like Watkins is a good pick because we know he's had 2 very consistent seasons in the Premier League.
Outscored Haaland in both.
So like that's a good reason to pick him for sure. And like you say, like those first 3 games, they look good for Watkins, and I'm not denying that. I just prefer Gyokeres as a pick that I'm gonna rely on, and that's why I haven't considered Watkins since he came into the league.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to fit both into your team, and Gyokeres is the reason why I'm going Watkins. It's so I can easily move to the Arsenal man. Game week, we showed you the first 3 fixtures. So Watkins goes Newcastle, Brentford, Palace, but then after that, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. First 7 are so good. Like Sunderland and Burnley in the first 7 for Watkins. Like I just know that he'll punish me if I don't go there. He's been a lock in my team for a while now. So yeah, I think he's in, but I like this disagreement. It would be boring if we all agreed on the same
totally.
stuff. And we do agree far too much.
We agree far too often. Taylor says, not confident Gyokeres starts on fire. Arsenal players didn't look accustomed to playing with him yet. Well, no, they're not going to be accustomed to playing with him yet. Do you know what I did like? Saka was looking for him all the time.
Was he? Yeah.
All the time.
I bet.
And that is going to be a combo. I'm telling you now. Like, that is going to be... Think when you've had, like, Odegaard and Saka on a different wavelength to everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, you've now got Gyokeres as well, who's on that same wavelength. And they've just got this space missing on the left where they've got to try and sign someone. But look, I'm happy for everyone to go Watkins. Like, I want everyone in the chat saying Watkins. I mean, Gyokeres is actually higher owned.
Gyokeres is 23 players to play this game, and all the Swedish guys will be in for Gyokeres. If he had scored pre-season, he'd have another 10% on his ownership of the way.
So have you got Saka in your team?
I don't have Arsenal.
So you have no Arsenal. I mean, that's brave. Arsenal.
It is brave. It is brave.
The best team in the league, maybe the best team in the league.
Yeah. And they're the best defence in the league for sure. Like not having an Arsenal defender, but I just don't like the fixtures. And I'm always led by them, and they are right at the bottom of the ticker. I will have loads of Arsenal players at some point, but not till September, October.
I don't believe you'll stick to that.
I will. I've not had an Arsenal player in my drafts. I've done 4 draft videos, and I'm doing another one at the weekend, and I've not had an Arsenal player in. So I'd feel like I've been disloyal to my entire YouTube audience if I go and stick an Arsenal player in. Now, like, I'm not even considering them. I will not have an Arsenal player game week 1.
Okay. What about game week 4?
Oh, sorry. I did have Raya early in my first draft, I think. Yeah, I could definitely see me getting on them September.
Okay.
But yeah, and I think Gyokeres is most likely. I think he's going to be brilliant. Watkins is expensive. If you get Haaland, Salah, there's no way you can get Watkins. Yeah, if you're a Haaland and a Salah draft, it's tough. But Dean has Haaland, Salah, and Gyokeres, and actually, you can go and see his video. We put it out early this week. It does kind of work. There's a lot of good enablers this year.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced of this like tough fixture thing with Gyokeres, but we'll see. We'll deal with that another day.
Yeah, exactly. Right, whoever's doing our chapters, whether it's CH or our producer, call this section Watkins and Gyokeres or Watkins versus Gyokeres, because it's been quite cool to do
That's
a
true.
debate.
We do need to
and actually, a lot of these players will try and give you an alternative because I think it adds to the discussion. Let's move on. For example, Florian Wirtz, Marmouche.
Yes,
is the alternative here. But Wirtz, I think Wirtz was mine as well.
It's yours, mate. Yeah, I have not got Wirtz, and I don't believe at this stage him to be essential. So I'll let you do the arguing case for Florian Wirtz. Who 32% people agree with you, so it's pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, we've called it like the must-have picks. I guess look, we're going to give our 10 of our favourite picks. To describe this video better, I would probably say the only must-have in the game for me this season is probably Mo Salah or no one, because there's different ways to set up. But of course, we're looking at our favourites. Mate, I just think Wirtz is going to be the heartbeat in the 10. He's playing close to goal. He's on all the set pieces with no Trent there. The routes to points are there. I think he'll be a 90-minute man. And I think he's been underpriced. I really think we should be paying more for Florian Wirtz for his output. And I think he'll get it straight away. The first 3 fixtures, though, it has to be said, this is a tough run for Liverpool. Like Bournemouth on the opening day, sure. You fancy Liverpool because of the departures at Bournemouth. And it's going to take them a little while to get their new defence in shape. But they go to St James's Park. That's tough. And then they host Arsenal, and that could be a really low-scoring stalemate. So it's a tough run. But after game week 3, I think is it Leeds and Sunderland and Burnley or something? It's a really good 4 and 5. So
yeah, no, that's fair. Wirtz. I mean, I just haven't managed to figure out a way to get him in. I'm sure I'll be a stage in the season where I will be jumping on Wirtz, but I'm looking. One of the reasons I'm excited about the Community Shield on Sunday is to see this guy and to see exactly what his role is in a more competitive game, which obviously this is supposed to be. Obviously, at the moment, it's been difficult to tell. There's been a lot of love for Gakpo recently, and a lot of people talking about Gakpo and how he's going to be playing. There's still the conundrum around Alex Isak and him coming in. That could definitely open up this week. Like once Newcastle sign the set, I mean, they'll get Visser, but Visser's not the one that unlocks Isak. It's another. So if they get Nicholas Jackson, for example, or Ollie Watkins, then that's what will unlock Isak to go to Liverpool, and then we'll start to see exactly what that front 3, 4, 5 looks like. But Wirtz is just going to, remarkable movement, remarkable game reading abilities. What I like about him most probably is how quick he spots something and plays the pass. Like it's incredible how quickly he'll do that. And as I said to you before on here, the reason I want to watch it closely, I'm like, is he getting the FPL points or is he teeing up for the FPL points? Like, is he the pass before the assist? That's the only real concern for me around Wirtz. Like, the guy is unbelievable, but is he actually getting FPL points? We don't know yet. Maybe that's why he's priced at 8.5, to be honest.
Yeah, new to the league always has a little bit of sort of that's taken into account when they price him, because many thought Gyokeres and Wirtz could have come in a bit higher, but it's that new to the league. Like Sesko will probably be 7.5 million, and it's like, okay, you're playing around Bruno and Burmo Cunha or 8, 9. Like, why are you so cheap when you're new to the league? All right, let's move on from him. Wirtz is a lock in my team, by the way. Just want to add that. Watkins is a lock. Wirtz is a lock.
Yeah.
Salah's a lock.
Yeah. I mean, Wirtz, obviously, as Keshav says, a definite starter for Liverpool as well. So that's if you're going for Wirtz, you're all in on Wirtz, aren't you? So
I need to change the way I say it. So Wirtz, not Wirtz.
I think so. I mean, we'll see when the commentator says it on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll see what the English.
Cole Palmer, me or you?
It's you, mate. These are all yours. It seems
they're
like.
all mine. It's my first. Great. Okay. That makes it better. Yeah. I just feel it's not even Cole Palmer. This is, you have to cover the Chelsea attack for me. Yeah. I think Chelsea are going to start the season well. I think the momentum from the Club World Cup and trying to cover the Chelsea attack and be smart with it and going for a Neto or an Enzo or a Joao Pedro, look, that can absolutely work. They're all good picks in their own right. But I just feel like I'm cheating if I don't go Cole Palmer. I just feel like I'm not going to get the same. I don't have that upside. And again, this is someone that ticks all the boxes. The set pieces, the pens, the 90 minutes. Playing on the right-hand side could be good because he's inverted. Again, we saw it in the Club World Cup. He wasn't a 10, he was an inside forward on the right, and it gave him a bit more space. Enzo playing in the 10. But look, I know, Dean, you don't have Palmer, and I know you've got Neto, and I think I'm excited for you with that pick. But you do need, for me, you have to cover Chelsea's attack. Now, many are doing that with Joao Pedro and Cole Palmer. I don't think you need both. And Joao Pedro, we know, won't be a 90-minute man. Cole Palmer, just for box ticking, makes sense to me.
Yeah, I honestly think I just got so burned by Palmer in the second half of last season that I'm just haven't recovered from it, and I don't want him. Now, that's not good FPL management for sure, especially after watching him at the Club World Cup. But I don't really have room for a 10.5 mid because of my Salah Haaland strategy. And as such, yeah, I'm at the moment going towards Pedro Neto as my Chelsea option in hope that he can come close to matching whatever it is that Palmer does. It's a good start to the season, obviously, for Chelsea with those 3 fixtures that we see, and even the 3 beyond it aren't off-putting. Cole Palmer, obviously, extreme confidence in himself. Would you be captaining Palmer in any of those games, or is this just a...
You might have to. Like, Salah goes to Newcastle game week 2, and if you don't have an Arsenal player, you're going to go to your Arsenal forward.
I'm going to Gyokeres for that one,
If you don't have an Arsenal player, and if you don't own Haaland, and that's a lot of us, because I'm fairly template there with Salah, Palmer being my premiums. So I can't go Haaland versus Spurs, can't go Saka or Gyokeres versus Leeds. So Palmer versus West Ham might be a captain option, which I don't love. Don't love it at all. Or do you go to someone like an Ollie Watkins? Watkins plays, I think, Brentford, his old club. There's something romantic in that. Maybe that's where you go with the armband. It's a bit punty, but you could absolutely captain Ollie Watkins because he's that sort of player. But yeah.
I mean, Palmer obviously extremely fashionable too. If you're doing a no Salah, no Haaland team, then Palmer's in that, isn't he? So
yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on from Cole Palmer. Do you know what? We should ask you guys how many of you own this player. So we didn't do it with Palmer. We'll do it with Murillo. Do you know what? We'll do a simple poll, Murillo. Do you own, how many Nottingham Forest defenders do you own? 0, and include Sells in this. 0, 1, 2, or 3. Guys, I'm on the double up. I think Forest, when you look at their fixtures, it just makes sense to me that they're going to keep 4 clean sheets in their first 8 games, maybe 7 games. Like, we can see the first 3 there: Brentford, Palace, West Ham. Then it's Arsenal in 4. But in 5 and 6, it's Burnley and Sunderland. These are the sorts of teams last season. They played middling to lower opposition, and they were banker clean sheets for Forest. And pre-season, they've shown us 2 things. They're struggling to score goals. Well, we know that about Forest anyway. And they're keeping clean sheets. We know that about them anyway. They will keep cleans again early this season. As soon as Europe kicks in and the rotation becomes, and they start becoming leggy by October, maybe that's a problem. I see clean sheets. And Murillo has the highest floor of the Forest defenders because he's amazing at bonus points and he's amazing at DEFCON. Milenkovic scores way more goals than Murillo, has the higher ceiling, but he doesn't have the floor. He doesn't pick up bonus as much, and he certainly doesn't pick up DEFCON as much. So Murillo, for me, is the standout. But then at 5 million, Williams is also amazing. Like, Williams is a lot better than Aina in all those metrics. So if you're going 5.5, go Murillo. If you're going 5, go Williams, not Aina.
Maybe I'm overlooking this. I haven't really given much love to Nottingham Forest in this pre-season period. Doesn't mean I'm not going to. I'm always going to be open-minded about a team that was so good last season. Murillo, extremely lowly owned, given what we saw last season, what we know he's capable of, and that the new point system is going to benefit him. So as a must-have, I mean, that's probably the boldest pick so far, but one that's certainly capable for most people to get to as a 5.5 option in that back line. So yeah, one that I've definitely overlooked, to be honest, mate.
Remember, when you're voting, guys, do include Sells in your head with that. But yeah, 20% aren't on a Forest defender. The vast majority, though, over half, are with 1. The differential will then become if you're doubled up or not. And that's why I like the double up. 25% are on 2 defenders, which I think will be pretty cool. I think I think I like those fixtures a lot, just for the home clean sheets. You can always drop one out. Milenkovic still got a lot of DEFCON points as a man. Yeah, he did, just not as many as Murillo. And Aina is excellent. Aina's got all the ownership, which is hilarious, over Nico Williams, because Aina got way more minutes last season. So on total points, Aina's better. But trust me, all the underlyings for attack and defence, Williams wins out. All right, let's move on.
Let's go. It must be me now. It must have been your 5. Now, obviously, like we gave 5 players forward each. We both gave forward Salah. So there's actually going to be 9 players here, and then we're going to do a bonus one very quickly at the end. But yeah, I mean, as a must-have asset, I must have Haaland. I cannot believe he's 20% owned. I can't believe it. What is going on? Haaland's played 97 Premier League games. He's got 85 goals. He's got 17 assists.
Yeah.
Yes, he's expensive, but he's expensive for a reason. Like, I just think, I'll say it again and again and again. People are overthinking this. Like, what's he not going to do? What do people not like about Erling Haaland beyond the price point? That doesn't really matter. You want the best players in the game, right? Who's going to be the top couple of point scorers in the whole game? Haaland and Salah. Surely.
We need to poll Haaland. Will you own him, yes or no? Let's see if it's 20%, same as the masses, or if it's higher or lower based on the engaged.
This is what sums it up for me. British. I did a Haaland draft, but I don't like it, so no Erling for me. So you don't want the best players in the game. Why?
Yeah, but Dean, I'm with British here. Like, the compromise is too big. You can't then have the Palmers, the Wirtzes, the Watkinses.
Wirtz is not going to get 4 goals in a game. Haaland is, and you're going to miss that when everyone else has captained him.
But to justify the spend of 14 million, you need to be captaining him a lot. Now, maybe you will do that.
I will rotate him between him and Salah and Gyokeres, yeah.
Yeah, I think you will. But many perhaps won't. And to justify 14 million, he needs to do more than just score every game. 6 pointers aren't enough for Haaland. I mean, sure, when he scores, he'll often get bonus, but you need a lot of returns. And Salah gets them, and Salah also gets the clean sheet point. He also gets the extra point for a goal. I think Haaland's been not criminally overpriced. I think it's great that he's priced high because it gives us a decision. Yeah. But boy, there's no way he should be 14 million. Ollie Watkins has outscored Haaland the last 2 seasons in FPL. Ollie Watkins is 9 million. He's outscored him twice in a row.
Yeah, but Haaland was injured last season.
Yeah, and I guess Watkins has probably had more minutes, but there shouldn't be 5 million between those 2 forwards, in my opinion. Like, Haaland's going to score more goals than Watkins. He'll probably get more FPL points. He needs to get load more FPL points to justify 5 million.
Yeah, but like, could Haaland win the European Golden Boot? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the ceiling, hasn't he? He could go chicken Oriental.
He could go and score 40 goals next season.
Yeah.
And obviously, if that's happening, then you can jump to him. But if he starts from game week 1 at Wolves, if 3 minutes into that game, it's like, penalty, Haaland 1-0. And then the 22nd minute, he's free at the far post, it's 2-0. You're panicking.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be doing that. I just can't even consider not having Haaland. I think Man City are going to be better. And the way I'm going to simplify this, okay? Who are the best 3 teams in the season, in the league next season? Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. Who are the 3 main guys that are going to get the goals? Salah, Haaland, Gyokeres. So let's go on to my next must-have pick. Because this is, for me, like I'm just trying to simplify everything as I get into pre-season. And that's why Gyokeres, for me, is in it. Like, someone just asked, how do I get in Gyokeres and Salah and Haaland and Palmer? It's like, well, you can't do that. You've got to make the decision. Do you want Palmer or do you want Gyokeres? And that's tough. Like, this might be close, like, because especially as Palmer's getting the midfield points rather than the striker points. But how FPL not got a picture of Gyokeres is absolutely ridiculous. It's not that hard, is it? Like, we live in a world where YouTube content creators could mock up a picture in 2 minutes, and someone getting paid 100 grand a year can't. So as I said before, like, not only is Gyokeres a monster in terms, he plays similarly to Haaland when he's in around that box. Like, he does not accept defeat. That ball is going to end up in the net one way or the other. And his goal scoring record in Portugal was phenomenal, right? He played 66 league games in Portugal and he got 68 goals. I don't care what you say about the Portuguese league. Not many players could go there and do that. Like, it would be like, oh, he got a goal every other game. Okay, well, most good forwards could do that. But to score more than a goal a game is rarely done. In fact, the only person who does it is Haaland. Yeah. So it's different. This is different, his goals return record there. And at Coventry, he's shown a very strong mentality. This is a player who thought he was going to end up at Real Madrid or Barcelona. And he's eventually ended up at Arsenal. He's got the number 14 Thierry Henry shirt. He'll be on the pens. He won't miss the pens. I really, really like him, mate. I think he's a brilliant footballer. And, you know, in a like for like with Gyokeres and Šeško, for example, I think he's way better. If I'm totally honest, for the right here, right now, I think that Gyokeres is like ready for this.
I don't love the narrative people have got against him where they go, Darwin scored goals at Benfica, or sorry, Freddie, to call you out on that, or how many goals someone else just said, did he score against the top teams in Portugal? I don't like that. Yeah, Michael said that, and we love you, Michael and Freddie. I disagree, though, because you watch him for Sweden, when he plays against top opposition, he still bangs him in. In fact, he's more clinical than Isak. You watch him in the Champions League where he's playing top opposition and he raises his game. He can only play what's in front of him. So if he's got loads of goals in Portugal, I'm sorry, it doesn't mean he's Darwin. Yes, he's got more goals against lower opposition in Portugal. Hasn't every striker? It's
just non-existent. Darwin scored 32 goals and 57 goals in the Portuguese league. I just told you Gyokeres got 68 and 66. He scored more than double. He's got more than double the goal rate of Darwin Núñez. It's incomparable.
Yeah,
like these two players.
Yeah.
So,
my reservation on him, though, for someone that's built like he's built, for someone that has joined a team that's really good at crossing, and Saka's great at crossing, and when Arsenal are playing against a low block, like many teams, they will resort to a lot of crosses. I thought they might go for someone that's better in the air. Gyokeres just Googled this because I heard a stat the other day. 12 headed goals from 136. He doesn't score that many headers, which is quite surprising considering his physical stature. I wondered if someone like a Šeško, who's better in the air, would suit Arsenal with Saka's delivery. I still think he'll score a lot from crosses, probably putting his foot on it. But I just wonder. I've not watched him enough to judge him on his heading, but I do think that is a part of his game. Looking at those numbers alone, without watching him much, that actually perhaps needs to be improved. So let's see how they deal with low blocks and when they start hoofing it and crossing it, if he can get on the end of those crosses.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a major concern of mine, but it'll be very intriguing to see just how much life he brings to the Arsenal attack and how much he changes those games that Arsenal didn't manage to turn the tie that last season, those ones that were finely balanced and they just couldn't find that breakthrough. I think that this is the moment you'll get them. So he'll also get the bonus points for being the difference maker.
Yeah. And Dean, we're looking at the percentage owned here, 23%. Yeah, this is a massive audience. The FPL community are behind this pick. I know everyone voted Watkins over Gyokeres, or most did. 38% of people watching right now are going to pick Gyokeres. So he's still going to be in a huge amount of engaged managers' teams, perhaps alongside Ollie Watkins, and they'll just find space for 9 millions, and it just means no Cole Palmer, for example. Yeah. And that there's a world in which you go Watkins, Gyokeres, and Salah or Haaland. You go for one of the big names, and then you can have both these guys. There we go.
Yeah.
Why is Saka not in the list? We haven't finished our list yet.
We haven't finished yet. We haven't finished, mate. Right, let's go on to my next pick. Because I couldn't leave out another pick from the Premier League champions, and that's why Van Dijk is in here at the moment. I don't know why completely I'm going to Van Dijk instead of Frimpong, because I've definitely keep going to my eye keeps straying towards him. I think it's though the reliability in the game from what we've seen in points records gone by, and plus the new defensive contribution points means that Van Dijk should be better. We're assuming defenses are stronger this year. They bring more points. So Van Dijk could bring even more points at the moment as we start a season in which we're going to watch Liverpool defend their title. My tactic is quite simple, mate. I just want Liverpool's 2 best players. So having Salah and Van Dijk is just, for me, a foundation to build on. So I'm not risking Wirtz. I'm not risking Frimpong, who I haven't actually ever seen play in the Premier League, in the system. But Salah's got pretty much the same role. Van Dijk's got pretty much the same role. They're both starting every game. They're both playing almost 90 minutes. And at the moment, Van Dijk's just I'm just a safety net.
Can I urge you? And look, Van Dijk is the content creator pick. The world's best managers that I know that make great content are all going Van Dijk. I feel like I'm bucking the trend here. I'm not picking Van Dijk. I don't have a 6 million defender. I've not had in any of my drafts a 6 million defender. If you're going for one, knowing you don't have a huge amount of eyes on your FPL team, Dean, and that it's not your career.
Yeah.
And I know how you play. You're happy to go a little bit loose at times.
Yeah.
Go Frimpong over Van Dijk. You just chase to see it. You know his numbers. You know he scores more goals than any defender in Europe's top 5 leagues in the last 2 seasons. You see his opposition box touches. You also know he's been signed to start. And the Bradley thing isn't really a problem for Premier League minutes. Certainly not early. Do it. Because you wouldn't usually go, but you go for the ceiling.
Yeah. This is the thing. Again, Sunday, Community Shield. I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to watch it closely. And that game can sway me in that sense. Yeah. Let's see what. But obviously, if Frimpong does do bits, then everyone and his dog's going to go and pick him.
You in a way hope he doesn't. And you know enough because you've watched him at Leverkusen. Like, that's your edge. I would. No, I'm hoping Daniel Munoz is quiet in that game, by the way, because I've been locked on Munoz since for weeks. If Daniel Munoz goes and scores, the world and their dog will buy him in, bring him in. He's 5.5 million. Daniel Munoz is the best attacking defender in the game. I think he's as good, if not better, than Frimpong.
Yeah, no, I take the argument about especially Bournemouth. Like, Bournemouth are obviously going to go there and try and be resistant and just try to not get a battering on the opening day of the season. It's going to be an emotional day at Anfield, like their first game back as champions, but obviously also their first game without Diogo Jota and all the tributes that will be going on. It's going to be a difficult one for everybody. And Bournemouth, I think, will have to just be focused on not getting wrapped up in all of that. So they either go there and they put up this really resilient performance and they get something from it or come close to, or they lose 4-0. And if they lose 4-0, then obviously I get the defensive points for Van Dijk, but that's when you're thinking, well, Frimpong might well be in the points there. And that's something that I'm probably going to have to look out for. Of course, there's 3-0 Liverpool minimum. We'll see. Let's roll it on to my next pick. We got 2 to go in this list. And my next one is, again, why is Joao Pedro? Why is Joao Pedro not got a picture?
Stick him in a Brighton shirt. I don't care.
Just stick him in last season's shirt. Just paint over. You go into the paint app and just fill over his shirt. Like, I could do it. Joao Pedro, you'll know what he looks like because he's been in the Premier League long enough.
Oh, guys, do not worry about his minutes tonight, by the way. Everyone's saying Estavial's starting, Pedro's benched. They're all going to get 45 minutes. Like, it doesn't matter who's starting and who's not for Chelsea. Okay.
So I think Joao Pedro is a really good pick for the start of the season. Minutes-wise, I don't. Minutes-wise, I don't really like this pick because I think that there could be a lot of 60 to 70-minute substitutions for Joao Pedro as Chelsea get this up and going. So that's the risk factor here. The flip side of it is that we saw him score in the semi-final and the final of the Club World Cup. We've seen the confidence he's got. Will he be on pens?
No chance. No chance.
I was going to try and draw you into that one then. But ultimately, what we saw at Brighton was a player who had a very strong self-belief. And from what I hear, that has continued so far at Chelsea. In the opening weeks of the season, he will be the starting forward. Yes, he'll get subbed out. They've got a lot of options to come there. But I think that Joao Pedro is a very strong pick for those first 6 game weeks while we try to understand where Chelsea are. Now, I say a must-have. I don't actually have him at the moment, which is a bit weird. I've got Pedro Neto, but I don't think Pedro Neto's as much of a must-have. At 7.5, I just think it's a really strong pick. I was struggling for this last spot, to be honest. And if we flip the screen again one time, you'll see someone else that I'm going to say is a must-have. Oh, actually, we don't have the Saka image, actually. But Saka's the other one that we have got it. There you go. Saka, 10 mil, I'm struggling. In a Salah, Haaland, Gyokeres team, I'm struggling. Obviously, I could flip out Gyokeres, go Joao Perdo, and get Bukayo Saka in. And I do think he's being overlooked massively. And again, I was watching that Villarreal game, and you watch him, you're like, kind of forgotten. I'd kind of forgotten because of all the transfer talk, because Arsenal did miss out last season. I think at the moment there's a tendency to just not appreciate what we've got in front of us here. And so he's going to be reasonably lowly owned at the start of the season. But by the time we get beyond that Liverpool game, I wonder if that changes. I think that it might well do. And as I say, there's only a small glimpse, obviously, but the way that he is getting the ball and looking for Gyokeres early just makes me wonder how those two are gonna partner. I know you said you're concerned about the crosses and the headers, but what about the cutbacks?
True.
What about the way that Saka
gets
gets
past
past
a
a
lot of
man?
crosses that aren't headers.
Gyokeres will just drop off his man and smash it in.
Yeah,
he's very good at that.
Amazing at getting to the byline and pulling it back.
So that's more what I would be looking at as a positive rather than the negative of perhaps not getting to the far post and nodding it in, which, by the way, he can do. He just hasn't got a great return rate of doing so. Nikolai says Saka is at the age that usually is on an upwards trajectory. British really says Saka's forgotten about, most moved to Palmer instead.
Off-course nailed it, though. I like off-course point there.
The thing about Saka is pens and Gyokeres 1 million cheaper.
Gyokeres is going to take pens.
He's going to take pens.
He is $1 million cheaper.
And that's why I've got him. That's why at the moment, as a must-have, I've got Gyokeres because he's got that pen factor ahead of Saka, which has obviously helped Saka in the past when he has had him. So, that's pretty much my list, mate.
Someone said, how do you build this team with 120 million, Dean? I think Nicholas earlier. Just so you know, 5 were Dean's and 5 were mine. We haven't put these 10 players in one team, right? So when we these are 5 players I've got, 5 players Dean's got, and we both had Salah.
Yeah. So from that list, I mean, my must-haves, I've actually got 4 of them. I've got Van Dijk, I've got Salah, I've got Haaland, and I've got Gyokeres in my team as 4 of my 5 must-haves. So as I say, I haven't got Joao Perdo or Saka in my team at the moment, and I don't think I can get there. I don't think I can. But we've all got to give up something, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Can't have them all. Guys, that's been loads of fun. Thank you so much for your support. I would love to, though. Oh, by the way, looks like Kelleher isn't in the squad tonight for Brentford. Slightly concerning. The last pre-season game for Brentford, and Kelleher isn't in the squad. You've got to think. I don't think we've had any interviews yet. I think you've got to think that there's maybe an injury there. So just watch this space, because Kelleher, I think, is 35%. I think he's the highest owned goalkeeper in the game. So
I actually haven't got him at the moment. I've got Petrovic at the moment, but I don't know. I've got Dubravka, I've got Petrovic, I've got them all on rotation at the moment. Not really sure which way I'm going on it, but yeah,
nice. Oh, by the way, Joao Pedro, 50% owned by the game, only 22% of the chasers. So again, the ownership based on masses, based on engaged, are very, very different. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We would love you to hit that like button, because pretty upsetting that we've only had upsetting's too far, but 39 likes.
Mate, do you know what I'm wondering though? On my YouTube app, I can't figure out it's changed on my premium app, and I cannot I don't even know how I like this stream. I'm looking at it right now, and where I used to just press like, it's not there.
Oh really? Because I noticed my video earlier was down on likes.
I don't know where it is.
See, I don't have premium, and it's in the same place for me.
If I turn the screen sideways, I can do it quite easy. I've just actually pressed dislike, but yeah, I can. So if I turn the screen sideways, I can do it. But when it's in upright, like normal, I've done it occasionally, but I can't even remember how I've got to it. So I'm wondering if that's why. I've had the same problem actually trying to find the comments at times. So yeah, the other day I was trying to reply to some stuff and I was like, how do I even get to the comments from our live? So I think it's just a slight tweak in the way that YouTube Premium's working at the moment. And once we figure it all out, maybe our likes go back up. But if you haven't liked us, if you can see a thumbs up, please give it a press. And
if you're a channel member like Anish says, can you rate my team? I'll drop down in the comments after the stream. Absolutely. Like, if the benefit of being a Chasing Green Arrows member is we'll always try and give you priority in the chat. But if we can't address your question, always drop it in the comments, not the chat. And Dean and I always look through those comments and we'll respond to anyone that's a channel member as a priority. Thanks, guys, for your support. We'll see you. Nike's just on the left. Okay.
I think that's on full screen. Yeah, he's talking about it on full screen. It's true, but it's not when it's like this.
Yeah. Yeah. See you later, team.